How Marion Works, a podcast series dedicated to informing you of the inner workings in all areas of Marion government and public services. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome back to Season 1, Episode 22 of How Marion Works. I'm your host, Layla Price-Bodkin, and we are in the Frequency Canvas Studios today on the Courthouse Square in downtown Marion. Today's episode is all about the Marion Municipal Airport. We are joined in studio today by Airport Manager and Air Marion Incorporated co-owner Andy Darlington. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Glad to be here.
Oh, great. Well, this is quite a treat having you today. Thank you for making time out of your busy day to come to the studio and do this because, you know, it's really important to talk about how Marion works in all facets. And you are listed as a department under the City of Marion on our website. And, you know, you're part of our budget. So we want to talk about all things Marion Airport today.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to get started, though, with a fun icebreaker question. I don't know if you had a chance to read the talking points beforehand, but we want to know what is your favorite type of aircraft and why?
This was a tough question because the one that I actually like to fly the best is a J3 Cub, and it's just nostalgic to get in a J3 Cub, and you're flying low, slow. You can have the door open. And it's just cool. But my favorite plane of all time but I'll never get to fly it, is an A-10. An A-10 Warthog, you know, tank buster. That's just the coolest plane in the world. An aircraft that's built around a Gatling gun is just,
cool.
It's just awesome. So A-10 is my favorite plane, but I'll never get to fly that.
So do you own a J3 Cub?
We do have one on the field, yes.
Do you own any other aircraft?
Through the business, through Air Marion, we do. We have a couple of our trainer aircraft, and then we do have a small multi-engine, a Piper Aztec.
Oh, nice. So when you say that the Air Marion Incorporated owns those planes, what exactly do you use them for?
So Air Marion is a company my grandpa and my dad started back in 79, and we're the fixed base operator for the Marion Airport. So we do all the day-to-day functions for the airport. We are contracted through the city and the Board of Aviation to run the airport. So gotcha. We're there day-to-day selling fuel, and because we're there, we're able to do the flight training, and we manage the hangars. So we use our training aircraft to teach people to fly. And so we've been doing that since 79. Here over the past 5 years, we've started a partnership with Jeff Air out of Greenwood and Indiana Wesleyan. And Indiana Wesleyan has started their aviation program.
That's right.
And so we've been we've actually just purchased another aircraft to try and to keep up with the business. Things are going pretty good with Indiana Wesleyan, and the program's growing quite a bit.
That's wonderful. I would love to touch on that later too when we have our conversation. But all of this is just so fascinating, and talking about, you know, not only your love for aircraft, but this is a business. This is what you do, and it's also a passion, and it's also a family business, it sounds like.
Yep, so, absolutely.
So I'm interested in kind of going back and talking about just kind of where you're born and raised in your education.
So I born and raised in Anderson, Indiana. Our family started the Anderson Airport. It began as my great grandmother's farm, and we had after they plowed the fields and took the crops out, there was a barnstormer that ended up landing in the family's farm and asked if they could give rides. That continued. The next year, more planes showed up, and it basically turned into an airport from there.
It just kind of happened.
Just kind of happened. And so my grandfather basically grew up on the farm. Then my dad grew up on the farm down there at the airport. And so the whole family was involved in aviation just right from the get-go. And then in 79, the city of Marion asked our family to come up and start managing and running the Marion Airport. And so at that time I was 4 years old, so I wasn't doing a whole lot in 79, but basically, I grew up around the airport and was mowing and weed eating and just grew up around aviation and grew up around the airport. And so still live in Anderson, and then just make the trek up here to Marion pretty much, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes.
Nice.
And but ended up going to Purdue for engineering, and
makes sense.
Yes. Well, yes and no. I should have gone into aviation. I should have gone to Purdue for aviation, but went into it for engineering, and man, they did exactly what they're supposed to do. They weeded me out really, really quick.
Oh no!
So I ended up switching to psychology, and again, what kind of fool was I? I should have just went into aviation, but I ended up coming back home and working at the airport till I figured my life out. And turns out, I was right where I needed to be the whole time. Just loved the airport and loved the people, and so got all my ratings right here in Marion. And been flight instructing and managing the airport myself since '99, and so but yeah, pretty much everything I've done flying wise has been right here at Marion.
Nice. Did you go to Anderson High School before Purdue?
No.
Where did you go?
Highland.
Oh boy!
No.
My husband went to Highland.
Oh, went to Highland. Oh, how dare you say Anderson? Jeez.
Well, I married a Highlander, so I think I'm kind of part of the family now.
Absolutely.
So now you still run both airports simultaneously, right?
Currently, we when we moved up to my dad ran Marion and my uncle ran Anderson.
Okay.
And so right this second, we do not have anybody down at Anderson. My uncle retired down there, so now the city of Anderson runs the airport themselves down there. They don't have a fixed base operator, and so right now it's just Marion. We're just a Marion.
Okay, that's interesting. So are you actively looking for anyone down there, or are you kind of satisfied with the way things are going right now? Like you're not trying to find a new situation.
Once my uncle got out of it down at Anderson, the city's been running it, and
that's great.
And they're doing really well down there. The Andersons are really, we're still obviously have ties to Anderson, but we're not doing any part of managing that or running that now.
Okay. So you kind of already covered how you were led to Marion and how the opportunity came to be here. And so I didn't realize that you were contracted as well. So that's fascinating. It's really great that you have that longstanding history and a lot of experience. So all of your basically everything that you do operation-wise at the Marion Airport, can you kind of go over what your day-to-day responsibilities are here in Marion?
Absolutely. Main thing is maintaining the airport and the safety of the airport. And so right this time of year, we're not doing a whole lot with groundskeeping, but throughout the year, we're constantly having to be mowing. Obviously, it's a constant job with as much area as we have. As winter comes in, we'll be doing the snow plowing, maintaining the lights and the lighting system, and then just making sure things are done in a proper way. So on a day-to-day basis, a lot of our job is just managing the aircraft, the flight training aircraft, keeping the airplanes fueled, doing maintenance on those aircraft. But it's not just our flight training aircraft. It's all the other aircraft that fly in, the business jets that fly in for business here in town. Mm-hmm. We have business jets based at the airport, and so we manage those and bring those out and fuel those and put those away after their flights.
Approximately how many of those are there?
We have 3 jets based on the field.
Nice.
And so total aircraft, we have 56 planes based on the field.
Wow.
3 of those are jets. About a handful more are multi-engine. So most of our traffic, most of our traffic count is our local guys. Avis Industrial, Transcare, they fly in and out quite a bit. We also have Staff Flight Helicopter.
Yeah, you have
now.
the helicopter.
And they're doing quite a few operations also.
Okay. Well, that's a lot to kind of manage and keep track of. And then you also have a responsibility on the aviation board. Is that correct?
So I'm not a member of the aviation board, but I work closely. The Board of Aviation is basically the liaison from the city to the airport. They manage the funds for the airport, and they do all the billing and that type of stuff for payments for the electricity and utilities and that type of stuff. And we are contracted through the Board of Aviation. So
Gotcha.
I work hand in hand with the Board of Aviation, and it's easy for me to say, but if you travel to any of the airports around here, we have a lot of good airports in Indiana, but man, our facilities at Marion are top notch.
Oh, they are.
And our Board of Aviation has done a really good job of using the funds wisely and giving us good facilities.
Yes.
And that goes right back to the city and the city council and everything too. I mean, we couldn't have the airport we have without all that coordination.
Now, I know that there was a lot of grant getting in past years, and I was blessed to know Jim McKinney and all of the involvement there. A lot of grants were achieved in doing a lot of construction at your airport. Is there anything that you are working on right now, or is there anything that is being improved or newly constructed at this time?
We are doing our best to, we have fuel tanks that have been in the ground for coming up on 30 years.
Okay.
And so we're doing our best there's no problems with them at this point, but we're just trying to stay ahead of it. And so we're going through that now of replacing both of the in-ground fuel tanks and putting above-ground fuel tanks in. And the city's been very helpful with that. And then
Sounds costly.
It's not cheap, and it just keeps getting more expensive the longer it goes, and tariffs and it just everything. It's just it's not been a fun, easy process. But
how many are there? Like
just two tanks.
Okay.
Just two 10,000-gallon tanks in the ground right now, and we're replacing those with above ground 12,000-gallon tanks.
Now, why do you have to do that?
Gas stations, airports, all kind of have the same problem. When you have an in-ground tank, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of testing, there's a lot of things that are involved with keeping that safe in the ground.
I gotcha.
And like I said, right now, it's all passing inspections, but once they get to 30, 35 years, 40 years, you're just taking the risk of there being a release. And so we're just trying to stay ahead of that. And so by putting them above ground, we'll take care of that. And then also, right this second, our 10,000 gallon in the ground as opposed to 12,000 above, that just gives us extra ability to have 2,000 more gallons in and so we're able to.
That's good.
When the prices are better fuel wise, we're able to buy it at a lower rate and get more fuel. So it just makes everything a lot easier.
So how far along are you in that process?
We've already got the bids in, and so we're waiting on, basically just waiting on construction. Once the part of this project is going to be all locally done, and part of it's going to be federally done with help from the feds. And so we have to go through the right paperwork and go through all the red tape to get that done. Once the grant is, and once all that is finalized, then we have to order the tanks.
Okay.
And we've been told,
hold off.
We've been told that could take months.
Yeah.
So we were hoping to have it done this year, but it won't be done this year.
So there's some red tape there that you kind of have to get through.
Yep, absolutely. And so it'll be spring of next year before we get it started and get it done.
Well, it's good that the community and anyone interested can kind of keep up on the operations. Anything that basically goes through the board. You have regular board meetings. Do you know off the top of your head the date and like basically what day of the month and what time and place that happens?
First Thursday of every month. 1:30 at the airport, public board meeting. So anybody's welcome to be there and attend. But without, barring holidays and that type of thing, it's always the first Thursday of every month.
Yes, and it's in the administration building in the boardroom.
Yep. Boardroom
Perfect.
at the terminal building. Yep.
Okay, so, and we post those minutes on the city website, cityofmarion.in.gov, and you can go to the board's page. Actually, you can go to the board's page to learn about who is on the board and all of that general information, but then there's a separate page that has the minutes of every meeting, so you can kind of keep up to speed on what's going on at the Marion Airport. So would you say that that is a challenge right now? And did you want to talk about any other challenges that you're facing?
One of the challenges we have is we do have a lot of dreams, a lot of goals. With the growth of the Grant Regional Career Center with the high school and with the Indiana Wesleyan Aviation Program, we see a need for growth. And
in what sense?
We would really like to. I mean, so far the Indiana Wesleyan program has doubled each year in students.
In the interest in basically in
having students
enrolling
on campus and students enrolling, and then also with the Grant Regional Career Center, which is the career center, just like the architectural and design and graphic design that high schoolers can learn trades. Mm-hmm. We've got the Aviation Academy with that too, and so. That has grown and that is doing really well now that they're able to get dual credit and college credit for that. It's really starting to take off there too, and so we've
literally no pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. But we can really see things springboarding from here and taking off, and so we need more space.
Okay,
and so we need a larger building, and we're making do with what we have, and we've done a good job of that. But if there's any growth to happen at all, we're going to need some more space. And then the other thing we're going to need is utilities. We currently are we need to be hooked up to city water and sewer. Right now, on the very south edge of town, we don't have anything coming out there, and so
that's a big problem right now. I mean, but hopefully that can get resolved here soon.
We're working on it, and we think we've got some ways that it's going to happen. The mayor's been very, very helpful. Can't say enough good things about him. The meetings that we've had, he's knowledgeable and very interested in it. So I think we will have that figured out here shortly.
Yeah, because the utilities will help just overall. But if you expand, obviously you're going to need help with the utility hookup, and
absolutely,
because right now you're county.
Yep.
So how many students are enrolled in the aviation program from the high school that's involved in the grant?
So we have the Grant Regional Career Center right now has 20 students. And so
that's growing.
Absolutely.
I remember when it first started a few years ago.
It was in the single digits, and so it just keeps springboarding, and it's really exciting. We're getting or students from all of the county schools. We have one coming up from Elwood. We had one coming up from Elwood last year. All the local county schools. So it's really exciting, and we're really trying our best to get the word out to counselors and anybody in the high schools that this is a field that's going to be growing. It's going to be needed, and it is going to be growing. And it's not just pilots, but maintenance, drones, aviation management. There's so many aspects of aviation that can, from a technical side and getting ready for the workplace. The regional center, the Grant Regional Career Center, can get you ready for that and get them prepared.
And so with Indiana Wesleyan jumping on board, following, the initiative with the high school and the Career Center, how many students are involved with the college, from the college? So
there are, with Indiana Wesleyan, you've got the two different programs. You've got the online side, and then you've got the on-campus side. And so this is our first basically this is our first year with on-campus students. And so up to this point, it had just been online students. And so now we're able to try and attract the on-campus students, and they can come to Marion and be at Marion and train with us. Otherwise, they've been at satellite airports and doing the online studying. So right this second, I believe there are with online students and the on-campus students, I think we're in the 15 student range.
Okay. Where's the satellite airport?
So in pretty much anywhere where there's an Indiana Wesleyan, it doesn't have to be an Indiana Wesleyan site, but Smithfield out of Fort Wayne.
Okay.
There's 4 students from there. Jeff Ayer out of Greenwood. I'm sorry, they're Shelbyville now. Out of Shelbyville, there's a few students down there. Mm-hmm. And so Evansville is another partner. And so there's and that's growing.
Wow.
So Indiana Wesleyan Indiana Wesleyan is doing a real good job with that.
How Marion Works is sponsored by the City of Marion. This podcast covers the inner workings of city government to better serve you. So your day-to-day when it comes to the aviation program for the students, what exactly do you do? How do you get involved? Because I know they have their own instructors that come in, but what exactly are you doing?
So all the instructors that teach the ground school for them are Air Marion instructors.
Oh, okay.
So through Indiana, for Indiana Wesleyan. So today I didn't. Today I had a student and getting him ready for his commercial rating. But yesterday I taught the high school program, and so I was in there trying to get them ready for a quiz next week or a test next week. And then today we had 2 of our other instructors doing ground school. Mm-hmm. With the Grant Regional and Indiana Wesleyan. So 5 days a week, one of our instructors is there teaching. Yeah. And then 2 other days a week, we've got, one other instructor there. I had to fill in for somebody yesterday.
So you're pretty versatile. You're kind of just doing whatever is needed.
That's the key thing. Jack of all trades and master of none. So I some days I'm fueling, some days I'm doing paperwork, some days I'm doing billing. And then some days I'm teaching. So it's all over the place.
Well, you've mentioned a couple of significant challenges, and I know that the mayor's all over it regarding the utilities. But when it comes to the challenges of growth, the growing pains that you're facing with the aviation program, just let us know if there's anything we can do to help promote it, and we can do that for you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to take a real quick commercial break to let you guys know that you can stay connected with us by following City of Marion IN on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok, as well as our website, cityofmarion.in.gov, and the latest communication feature, My Marion app, a free download through your Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Okay, Andy, we're going to get into part 2 of our podcast, and I have one more icebreaker question for you. Okay. Name a hobby of yours, and if it's not necessarily a hobby, is it a collection?
I don't really have
any hobbies other than flying.
Flying.
Any other sports or anything like that?
Well, I don't play. Love football. Watch football constantly. Watch sports constantly.
That's a hobby.
But it's just flying. Just being at the airport and flying, and a lot of driving back and forth to Anderson.
Yeah,
so.
Same here. Technically Alexandria, but yeah, yep. It is. Well, I'm glad that you can find, kind of a retreat, I would say, in flying, because you can kind of compartmentalize, you have your work days, but then you have days where you're just having fun.
Yep. And that's the key thing is, super lucky, super blessed that I'm getting to work with family. My dad still is there every day. My son is now working at the airport, and he's there every day.
Oh, cool.
So I'm getting to spend time with family. And then also, there's just nothing better than flying. So even when I have to fly, I have to instruct, there's nothing cooler than that. So I'm really not working.
Not to put you on the spot, but do you have like a really cool experience on an airplane? I know that I have one that I can share. When I went to the Marion Airport a few years ago, Ray Johnson had the media come out to see one of the planes that had arrived early for the fly-in cruise-in, and it was a 1928 Ford Tri-Motor. And I was asked just kind of a whim to just join because I had been a reporter before, and then I had just gotten my job with the city, and I didn't even have time to think about it, and I said yes. And I can't believe that I went up in a 1928 aircraft, which is considered the first passenger plane. Yeah. And it was quite interesting, and it was really loud. I remember the engine was really loud because I was right next to it, but it was cool. I've
gotten to do so many just little things from being at the airport, and every time one of the plane comes in, the B-17, the tri-motors that have been in, getting to ride in those and getting to see those, it's just that's a really cool experience. There's a plane on the field right now. It's an N3N, which is a World War II trainer built by the Navy. That's on the field, and I've been able to get a little bit of time in that lately. And open cockpit is just really, really cool. And again, I'm flying with my dad when I'm doing it, so it's just just putting two good things together. I'm just really blessed with what I've been able to do out at the airport, and it's all been because of the business. It's all been because of what my dad and my grandpa started. So,
have you ever been in a glider?
I have, absolutely. Yeah, the group from Alexandria.
Yeah.
This has probably been 10 years ago. They came up and they spent a weekend at our airport, and they gave rides, and it was just basically to get people in touch with them and show them off to other people. And I took a flight in it, and I was very humbled.
Oh my!
Very humbled. I really like having that engine in front of me.
I gotcha. It does seem like you are out of control, doesn't it?
Yeah. The super professional. The guy was great. And I just assumed that I would be able to fly it and do real well. But it's a different skill. It's a different skill,
wow.
And you've got to be good. The guys that fly the gliders all the time are really, really good. And like I said, I got humbled because. There's so much more. There's so much of a different knowledge set that you need for that. Looking for lift and just feeling the airplane, hearing the airplane. It's just a different thing.
So you were up in it with one other person.
Correct.
And
yes.
That was the pilot, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely not the pilot.
By yourself.
I was definitely not the pilot. It wouldn't have turned out very well at all. And at that point, I'd been flying for 20 years, and thought that I knew everything. But no, I didn't. I definitely didn't know everything.
Well, and it's because you're used to the engine planes, and, I can get that. Like, it's a different experience altogether. And I think that if you would have learned how to do that early in life,
absolutely,
you would be fine.
Yep. Absolutely.
When you try to learn to do something later in life, it's like, I can't. I'm trying to take up golf, and it's hard.
I'm going back to school right now, and I'm feeling that.
Are you? You're going back to school?
Yeah. So I never did end up with my degree. So I'm taking classes now at Indiana Wesleyan, and
nice.
Realizing that I haven't worked my brain like that for a while.
Is it general studies?
Yeah. Right now. I'm able to use all the ratings that I have and get credit for those ratings, and then some of the classes that I did actually finish at Purdue, I was able to transfer over. So hopefully should have associate's degree next year, and then I'll work towards my bachelor's.
That's so great, and it's right in your backyard, literally. Like Absolutely. You can just Absolutely. Take classes, but you're taking them online or
both? In person and online.
Nice. Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and what a wonderful way to continue to use your credits, your experience, and finish college. That's awesome. So do you have anything that you want to tout about technology at the airport? I know that I've been in the, I don't know, you called it the ground training, but I've seen simulators. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of really cool things at the airport. Is there anything you want to talk about technology-wise and keeping up with technology?
Technology-wise, that's just the part of what with the Grant Regional Career Center, I can't say we, the airport did help out with it, but the Aviation Academy did it themselves, built a new classroom, and we do have a nice little simulator suite in there, and you can get FAA credit for the simulators that are in there. That's one of the things we hope to grow. We'd like to get a full motion sim coming soon.
What does that mean?
So right now, it's a little bit more high tech, but it's basically just you flying in front of a computer screen with a yoke in front of you. What we'd like is what the airlines have and the larger companies have is a full motion sim where you're actually walking into the sim and the whole unit is moving when you're flying. Almost
like virtual reality?
Similar, absolutely, yeah. And so it's a much more of a real experience,
right?
And it's a little better experience than what we have now. So we'd really like to do that, and
that's costly too.
Very costly, very costly. There's been quite a few nice donors to the Grant Regional Career Center. And they've helped us out quite a bit getting the simulators we've had, and so we're just going to keep working towards that and see what we can do. Technology-wise, otherwise, things are just changing so much. The government changes things all the time on requirements on what you need to have in your airplane and the equipment that you need. ADS-B is something that's new over the past 4 or 5 years, and being able to track aircraft and see when aircraft are coming in and be able to use that and learn how to use that for each airport is. So that's the type of stuff that is going to change so much in the next 5-10 years. With AI and everything that's coming out.
So you're going to utilize AI?
Somehow, I don't know how.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear of AI replacing pilots and replacing that type of thing.
Yes, that scares me.
And so we're not looking forward to that part, but there's still going to have to be a human in the airplane. There's going to have to be. I guess everything changes. Cars or trucks and semis are going to be driving without people in them, but I imagine eventually we'll get there, but it's going to be a while. And so we're still going to need pilots. We're still going to need the good training in the pilots until that happens.
Yeah, please advocate for that as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. I mean, I know that there are some good uses for AI, but it does scare me personally in a lot of ways of how quickly it is being implemented. And that right there is scary in of itself because it needs to be, trial and error, a lot of that kind of research needs to be done and
it's just happening so fast.
I know it is in a lot of ways. Well, is there anything else that you would like to promote about the airport? I know that you host a couple of really big events each year.
Just really appreciate the community and supporting the events that we do have out at the airport. Our biggest event, Fly In Cruise In, and we're 34 years into it now, and it's just you hear people talk about it in the aviation community, and everybody just talks about how it's one of the nicest fly-ins and one of the nicest events to come to, so we're really proud of the Fly-In Cruise-In.
Do you actually take in money from that event, or is it just a giving back to the community? More
of a giving back to the community. We spend our daily job is to keep the airport clean, keep the airport looking nice, but we kind of have to do everything at one time for these events, mm-hmm. And so we end up spending a lot of overtime and a lot of stuff getting ready for it. We do sell a little bit of fuel. But not that much for the amount of planes that come in, and then just trying to. So it's more of it's for the community, and we're still amazed how many people come out to that and say, "I didn't know we had an airport out here."
Oh, wow.
I didn't know we had this out here. I didn't know. So we have
You didn't see the planes in the air?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's good for us. It's good for the airport, to get people out to the airport to see what kind of facilities we have. So it's one of those things that it's just a good thing to do.
It's almost like an open house.
Exactly
each year
right.
for your airport.
Exactly right. And we get to show it off not only to the community, but we get to show it off to the aviation community. We have people from Ohio, Michigan, all flying in.
Oh, yeah, Oshkosh was where.
Yeah. So we get people coming in all the time, and we get to show off our facility and how nice of a facility we have. So it's the flying cruising is awesome. The Indy Airstrip Attack is our other big event, and that just seems like it keeps growing and growing. And again,
yeah, you even had 2 this year.
I
don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. It still worked out really well, but I think this year it's just going to end up being 1
in August.
Yep. And so we, but yeah, that's and then some of the other small events that we have, just general. We have every once a month we have a hangar talk where we just get together as pilots, and you don't have to be a pilot. You can be an aspiring pilot or just be interested in aviation. But we meet out there the 3rd Saturday of every month at the airport, and coffee and donuts, and then there's a different topic each month, and we just go through and discuss that. And sometimes it's training, sometimes it's just fun, but it's just all of us getting together and just talking about aviation.
What time on the 3rd Saturday?
10 in the morning.
Okay, so is it in the admin building?
It is in. We'll have it at different places, but it normally
it's in a hangar.
It's normally exactly right. Normally it's in hangar C.
Okay,
but Dwight Ott allows us to use his hangar, and he and Mark Johnson kind of put this together and get this going. So that's a good thing that we have going. This is our first year to do it, but this Halloween we're doing a trunk or treat.
Yes, that's right. By the time this actually releases, it will have been over. But I love the fact that the airport is getting involved with Halloween in that way.
We're going to try it, and so these. I've been thinking about it for years, but I've never done anything about it. Stat Flight is the one that approached us and said, "Hey, we'd really like to do this year," and so Stat Flight is basically putting it on, but we're getting some response from the police department, fire department, and in the city, bringing vehicles out for people to take a look at, and hopefully we'll get a good turnout for that.
I would love for you to just talk a little bit about Stat Flight a little bit more. How that came to be, and what are the benefits of having that here?
The Stat Flight crew, they're awesome. So they maybe 6 years ago, time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies, but somewhere around there. They just market wise, they needed to move from Anderson north, and they were just approaching different airports and trying to see where a good spot for them would be. And our Board of Aviation at that time did just about everything they could to get them to come up. It's just a real good thing for the community. It's good for the airport. But just having a medical helicopter.
It's right here.
It's right here, so close by. It's good for everybody. I
know the word needed to kind of get out for a while.
Absolutely. And so they're doing a real good job of community outreach, and that's what the trunk or treat. They're trying their best to get their name out there, and but really good group of people. The helicopter's well maintained, the crew's well trained, and it's been a good thing for the airport.
When I got to go out when they first joined, and they had done, I think, some kind of ribbon cutting or grand opening, and I went out there, I noticed that there were a lot of females.
Yes, absolutely.
Are there still?
Absolutely. Yeah, we had 2 female pilots. Now we're down to 1 female pilot, and then also, but there's just it's a real good mix of male technicians, male nurses, female technicians, female nurses, and then also the pilots also.
Awesome. Well, if you decide to do the trunk or treat again, or if they have anything else going on, please let us know and we can post that on our Facebook page. We've been trying to promote everything that you guys do. So I know that you have something else that's kind of new that some students initiated, and that is an ice cream shop at the airport.
We do. Through the Grant Regional Career Center, some of the second-year students were tasked with coming up with a project of trying to get people to, a different reason to fly into the airport or come into the airport. And so they created Sky High Scoops. And so we now have ice cream out at the terminal building, and it's hand-scooped ice cream. And, it was all the brainchild of the students and the Grant Regional Career Center.
So what hours and what days can one come out there and get some ice cream?
7 days a week, and just whenever the airport is open, whenever the terminal is open. So through the week, it's 7 to 6, and on the weekends, it's 8 to 5.
Wow, that's great.
You don't sell a lot of ice cream at 8 in the morning, but we're available if you want some.
Well, that's okay.
Absolutely.
And you're right on, you've got great visibility, if you will, on State Road 9. So if you're kind of just driving along, you've got that nice digital billboard. I know that you advertise through there, all the different things that you have going on at the airport, including the ice cream shop. I think that's a really neat thing. And I love all the ways that you get involved in city initiatives. I know that we've done some things together in the past with our welcome bags. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I know that I want to make sure that anyone listening that is interested in getting involved in aviation, I know that they promote it through the schools, but do you have any information on it that they can maybe go to a certain web page or just learn more about that program?
If you just Googled the GRCC, they have a nice website that goes through all of their different programs and the technical skills. So it's not just the Aviation Academy. They have quite a few programs in there that are just going to be needed. All the technical skills. We need people that are able to do hands-on work. And so aviation is one of those, and aviation is the one that I'm most part of, but there's a lot of good things happening at the through the school system and through the GRCC. And then our website, airmarion.com. If let's say you're not a student, you don't have kids or anybody interested in being a student, but you're just interested in learning to fly, just airmarion.com. We'll get you there, and you'll be able to find out information on that. One of the things that we do a gob of is discovery flights, and so we get a lot of questions about. Well, the main thing is we get a lot of questions about how much is it to fly from here to Nashville? How much is it to fly from here? We don't do those type of flights. We don't have any commercial flights or any scheduled flights out of Marion, but we do give rides, and we do those year round. And so for $110, you're able to come out, and 3 people can go up flying. We can take you all around the county. We can show you your house. It can be a joyride, or it can be a first lesson.
What's the cost of that?
$110 for the plane. And so it's about 30 minutes of flying. And like I said, 3 people can go up for that, or 1 person can go up for that.
So it's not for everybody, but it is available.
It is available, absolutely. And it's a great Christmas gift. It's a great, and it's a good way to get somebody started flying. It's a good way to get somebody, if you think they might be interested in learning to fly, it's a good way to start it.
Yeah, because you'll know right away if it's for you or not.
Before you put any more thought or any more effort into it, go up and see if it's something you like.
Well, we sure have covered a whole lot, and I'm just kind of curious of all the things that are offered at the airport. What do you think is your favorite, or what would you say is your favorite part of your job?
Teaching.
Nice.
Teaching is it. Just today, one of our students, Calvin Miller, just got his commercial rating today, right before I came out here, and seeing him from a high school student get his, he was part of the GRCC, and so he's now taking classes at Indiana Wesleyan, but he's got his private license, his instrument rating, and then today he just finished his commercial rating. And just seeing that growth and seeing people accomplish that type of stuff is just cool. And I just love seeing the connection. I love seeing when it clicks, when you're trying to teach somebody how to land, and then it finally clicks, and they start making the landings themselves, and they're just so excited about that. That's probably my favorite part.
So how long does that process take, the aviation program from start to finish? Or does it depend, I guess, for flying, specifically for flying?
It really depends on how much time you have available. And like if you go through the Indiana Wesleyan program, you can end up with your private, instrument, and commercial within 2 years. No problem. And you could actually, it can be done faster. But so it just depends. And then from there, you can do all kinds of things. You can get your instructor rating from there. You can just start building time until you get to the 1,500 hours that you need to be considered for an airline job.
Yeah.
So it's just going through getting a degree from Indiana Wesleyan or not getting a degree and just going through and getting your ratings. Either one is it's going to get you ready, get you ready for your future job.
Right. Well, I love all the options. Thank you for sharing, everything about, your passions and everything at the airport. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover? And also, I just want to make sure that if anyone has any questions for you, what would be the best way for them to reach you?
fly@airmarion.com is the email. And that'd be the easiest way, or just call out to the airport, 674-7777, and be happy to answer any questions you got. No, I appreciate you having me on, and I never have a problem talking about the airport. So
awesome.
We've got a good thing here, in Marion, and we just want to keep growing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to make sure that we covered the airport in this podcast series. This is how Marion works. Hopefully you've learned, a lot today in listening to this podcast. And yes, we do have a Marion Airport. It does exist.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot going on there. And it is going to just continue to grow. So thank you, Andy, so much for being a part of this today.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to How Marion Works. Follow us on social media, listen on Apple, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms. Episodes release every other Monday at 5 a.m., so follow us on your favorite platform and know when they launch. All shows are found at howmarionworks.com. For Andy Darlington, I'm Layla Price-Bodkin, and this is How Marion Works. Thank you for listening to the How Marion Works podcast. We hope you'll join us next time.